The Schumer shutdown has officially come crashing down. After 40 days of pure chaos, flights canceled, first responders unpaid, millions of Americans suffering, Democrats caved. And what did they get in return? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's not hyperbole. That's exactly what just happened. And the details are even more devastating for Upchuck Schumer than you could ever imagine. Stick them in the very end of this video because we're going to see precisely why the Democrats folded, why their political stunt completely backfired, and the epic media meltdowns that ultra-leftists are having today all across the country. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness as the far left desperately tries to stop the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age that you are making happen all over the world. So if you want a front row seat on how you are changing the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Last night, the Democrat dam finally broke. 8 Senate Democrats broke ranks with their own party and voted with Republicans to end what became the longest government shutdown in American history. The final vote, 60-40. And here's the key. The deal they accepted is essentially identical to what Republicans offered before the shutdown even started. Let me repeat that. Democrats shut the government down for 40 days. They caused absolute mayhem across America and then accepted the same deal they could have taken on day one. This is the very definition of a complete capitulation. The deal funds the government through January 30th, and there is a provision that they'll restore the positions of about 4,000 federal workers who were fired as part of RAFs following the shutdown. That's reductions in force. But note, they don't have to hire back the actual same workers. They just have to restore the positions. They can either fill those positions with MAGA loyalists or not fill them at all. And basically, that's it. They're making sure veterans and SNAP recipients are funded for a full year, which, again, the big, beautiful bill already takes care of. So in the end, the Democrats literally got nothing. Most especially, no extensions of Obamacare subsidies, the very thing Democrats were supposedly fighting for. No extensions, no Obamacare subsidies, no money for illegal migrants, Medicaid, nothing. Nothing. Just a vague promise of a future vote in the Senate, not even in the House, on healthcare subsidies in December, which everyone knows is dead on arrival. By contrast, while the Democrats got literally nothing, Republicans got everything. They got exactly what they wanted. A clean continuing resolution with no partisan giveaways. I mean, that's why President Trump backed the deal immediately. The author of The Art of the Deal recognized that this was a total win for the Republicans and a total and complete absolute loss for the Democrats. And all you got to do is take a look at the seething meltdown among the progressive left that's happening right now as we speak all across the nation. They are absolutely livid, most especially the woke wackos over at MSNBC.
I have a lot more questions than answers. I don't know why Senate Democrats
are going along with this
so hard for a date promised in the future, and looks like they're settling for something that is 6 weeks down the line. I don't get it.
I would say it doesn't feel like a gentleman's agreement. It feels like Lucy and the football.
Ooh,
you know?
Yeah, I see that.
It's like, oh, yeah, we promised this vote.
Right.
Whoops, the vote's gone.
But they can even, in good faith, do a vote in the Senate. Nothing's going to happen in the House.
Mike Johnson does that.
Even if John Thune is being above board, say, I'm going to do this. But look at the base. I mean, I'm already seeing a thing on social media and getting emails from listeners to my radio show. By the way, I have a radio show. And
we already said that.
We gave you credit for that, Dean. Come on.
People already know, but they're saying for 40 days you shut the government down, and now you're going to open the government up, and what did you get in return?
Right.
Nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing. After the pain you inflicted, people were willing to take the pain. I talked to union workers from TSA. I said, I'll take the pain if it's going to help me to get health insurance subsidies paid. So you're getting nothing in return. I don't know how. And you just won an election on Tuesday in huge numbers.
This is my question. What what explains the timing here? Like, what changed? The term deals didn't change.
The cynical person would say that Democrats won the election, that's what changed.
Yeah, Republicans are going to say that.
That's exactly what they're going to say. And, I'm not flacking. I, worked for 3 Democratic senators back in the day. I'm not flacking for them now. I don't know what their response, a real response, is going to be to that because it's not apparent. It looks like they folded.
Yeah, it looks like they folded because that's precisely what they did. The Democrats folded in literally every way imaginable. We've got leftist federal workers all over Reddit in a complete meltdown today. They're freaking out. They're like, what was this? We were all used as pawns for absolutely nothing. They lost their jobs. They lost their benefits. They lost their pay. And for what? I mean, literally, for what? What on earth did the Democrats walk away with here? Nothing. And that's why the leftist lunatics at MSNBC are already calling for up Chuck Schumer's head.
Do you think Chuck Schumer needs to go after tonight?
He should have gone a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Yes. Yes, you talk about aim not meeting the moment, right? Every time he gets in front of the camera, the average Democratic voter out there screams, be done with you, be done. And this will only accelerate that. Yes,
Joe, do you think the left is headed for a Tea Party-like moment here? I mean, I know that you're new to being a Democrat and you're not like some big lefty or progressive, no. But this does seem to fit the argument that they have been making, that some of these older or more moderate and establishment figures just aren't ready to meet this moment. Generational change is needed. This sort of seems like if you're one of them, you're running on this. You're challenging people.
I'll tell you what, if I were on set with you all right there, I'm yanking off my mic and I'm hugging you. I'm giving you a big high five. You are exactly right.
Yeah, they want a clean house, which again only exacerbates the mess. They want to replace the legacy Democrat establishment with radical leftist progressives who are only going to further alienate the party from the vast majority of the middle-of-the-road populist electorate. I mean, even dollar store Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, is getting a primary challenge from a lunatic leftist here. This is exactly what happens every time with the Democrat Party. Every time they lose, they double down on their lunacy, which only further alienates them from the vast majority of the electorate. So why did the Democrats cave? Why did this house of cards come crashing down, as it were? Well, that is exactly what we are going to find out. But first, do I have a treat for you? How many of you have been thinking about getting into the crypto market? You're hearing about these amazing returns of 30%, 40%, 50%, but you're intimidated by all the volatility or not even knowing where to begin or what to do. Meet your new best friend, Block Trust IRA, and their amazing Animus AI. Block Trust IRA combines crypto investing with the power of a super AI system that buys at the highs, sells at the lows, which mitigates crypto's volatility. That's why since 2020, Animus AI has done what seemed impossible. They've outperformed Bitcoin by over 250%. You're not going to find anything like that in the old dusty portfolio playbooks. I mean, we're talking about a technology that works tirelessly, analyzing thousands of market data points to detect opportunities no human trader could ever spot. And for the first time ever, it's now available to ordinary Americans like you and me. It's usually only available to the billionaires, the huge Wall Street fat cats. Now we have access to it. Ordinary Americans. That's why I'm a client of Block Trust IRA. I love them, and I know you will too. We're standing at the crossroads of a financial revolution. The question isn't whether you can afford to invest differently. It's whether you can afford not to. Don't just survive retirement. Thrive through it. Go to turleytalkscrypto.com right now and book a consultation with their crypto AI experts. Your family's future is waiting, and it's time to take control. Now, while this Democrat surrender, clearly caught MSNBC by surprise, we saw this coming for weeks. And you'll know that if you've been with our channel, and if not, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. But if you've been with this channel these last 40 days, you know we knew from the very beginning that the Democrats were going to eventually cave and they were going to walk away with their tail between their legs. They were going to walk away with nothing. And we knew this because first and foremost, Schumer was the first to blink. Schumer was the first one to offer concessions. He walked back on the original demand to make Obamacare subsidies permanent. He settled for a simple year extension. That's quite the concession. Permanence versus 365 days. And it was rightly interpreted by the Republicans as a sign of weakness, in that Schumer believed he was losing the leverage battle. You see, and again, this is why you don't try to out-negotiate the author of Art of the Deal. In high-stakes negotiations, I should say, the side that is the first to formally propose concrete concessions signals you've lost the leverage game. That's the historical pattern. We saw that in the 95-96 shutdown when Gingrich and Dole were the first ones to concede. And again, the whole thing fell apart for them like a house of cards. And even after Tuesday's elections, we've been seeing a growing number of more moderate Democrat senators, like the two from New Hampshire, Hassan and Shaheen, Masto from Nevada. They were already pushing Schumer for a compromise. And then that number just grew and grew and grew with each and every day. The problem with that, as far as the Republicans are concerned, is that the Democrats were already showing they were blinking. So why compromise when they've already demonstrably fractured? Why accept any Democrat demands when Democrats are already conceding? And you can keep pushing them in that direction. So you can appeal to, they were trying to appeal to all these pro-Democrat polls and the reality, not the polls, but the reality is that once you've signaled weakness by making the first concession, the other side knows you're at your breaking point and can wait you out even further. And then the checkmate move came from President Trump over the weekend when he countered Schumer's concession on extending Obamacare subsidies with his own proposal, Trump's own proposal, to replace those subsidies entirely with HSAs. That's healthcare savings accounts, where the money goes directly to the people rather than greedy insurance companies who've been seeing their stock value jump 1,000% ever since Obamacare passed 15 years ago. And this was an absolutely brilliant move because Obamacare has become a de facto insurance company slush fund. They're getting rich off of government-subsidized health insurance, all the while the American people suffer. And Trump was like, let's bypass the insurance companies entirely and give the money directly to the American people in the form of HSAs. And that way we solve two problems at the same time. We solve the problem of the subsidies expiring, and we solve the problem of never-ending rising healthcare premiums because the government's paying for them, so insurance companies can charge whatever they want. And every Republican senator immediately jumped on board with that. Rick Scott, Bill Cassidy, Lindsey Graham called the proposal brilliant. James Lankford, remember James Lankford of Oklahoma from the doomed bipartisan border bill? Do you remember that from a couple of years back? Even he jumped on board with it. All of them. Rick Scott and Lankford actually are drawing up as we speak a bill to implement HSA. So what Trump did is he, in effect, pulled the rug out from under Schumer's feet with his own proposal for expiring subsidies and gave Senate Republicans the leverage they needed to force the Democrats to ultimately fold on this. They basically stole the Democrats' issue. And the irony in all of this, especially after last Tuesday's elections, the irony in all of this is that this prolonged shutdown afforded Trump the very opportunity he needed to pivot back to the very domestic issues that won over disaffected independents in 2024 who had since more or less abandoned Trump and the Republicans because they felt slighted. They felt like he was more interested in the Middle East than Middle America, in foreign policy than food prices. So they either didn't show up on Tuesday or they defected back over to the Democrats. What they wanted was Trump's domestic agenda. They wanted America first. And guess what? They're getting that now in spades. He's hit the ground running. He's ordered the DOJ to investigate big ag meat packing corporations who he's accusing of colluding to drive up prices. He's talking about introducing 50-year mortgages to help young people pay for homes. He's countering, of course, extending the Obamacare subsidies with bypassing the insurance companies and giving the money directly to the people. So the shutdown inadvertently ended up giving Trump the very opportunity he needed to effectively pivot back to the very domestic issues that got him elected in the biggest landslide win for a Republican in 2 generations. And so at least 8 Senate Democrats saw that writing on the wall, and they said, that's it. We're done. We're quitting while we're behind. We're cutting our losses. We're moving on. And the whole thing imploded. The tipping point hit, and boom, 60 votes in the Senate, shutdown averted. So now, or over, I guess I should say. So now what? Where do we go from here? Well, I mean, think about it. As we head on to the midterms of this next year, Republicans now have a devastating talking point. Democrats shut down the government for 40 days. They hurt millions of Americans. They damaged the economy. They disrupted travel. And they did it for absolutely nothing. Nothing. And if Democrats were willing to hurt this nation and you for 40 days for literally no reason at all, don't you think what's to prevent them from doing that again? They don't need any political reason whatsoever, or any kind of reason whatsoever whereby they leave with more than what they started with, right? So you push that, all the while Trump and the Republicans effectively pivot back to the economy and the cost of living and affordability and healthcare savings accounts. I mean, this is the very godsend that the MAGA movement needed to revitalize the very America First principles that galvanized the biggest political coalition in our lifetimes just ahead of the midterms. And who would have ever imagined that that gift would come from the Democrats themselves? Hey, before you go, gang, do not miss out. Every Friday, my weekly wrap-up gives you everything you missed during the week. Live streams, top videos, podcasts, events, and the week's biggest Patriot wins. Sign up free at turley.pub/recap and start ending your week with faith, family, and freedom.